Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another Green Dragons Gaming. Without us, they wouldn't feel like winners. Without them, we couldn't look so good. So it's been a while. I did just put the Buckeye list review. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to make that due to my oldest daughter's dance recital, which was awesome. Um, and I know a bunch of at least 10 of us weren't able to make it just due to other family commitments and things like that. So I want to say, Jeff, great job. To Chris, to Ryan, I think Chris won overall. Ryan, I think, um, Chris got propelled due to soft scores, so he won it. Ryan went undefeated, which was awesome. And let's see, to Chris McDonald. Just great showing by everyone in my local area and my local group. I want to also give another shout out to Mike Maddox and just actually everyone. There's so many people. I just want to say great job. Wish I was there, and hopefully next year I will be. So, while they're off playing a five-man tournament with some different scenarios and things like that, and to Jeff Parkhurst, thank you so much for putting that on for everybody. I went down to Timonium and Titan Hobbies and Games, where I'm actually going to be running a 3,000 point tournament. It's a one-day, three-game event on what day is that? July 16th, and and I played with a person who basically helps organize and run the Titans of Ninth down there. It's James Smith, and I got to play his Vampires Covenant with my Kingdom of Equidane. This is actually going to be a 4,500 point game. So here's a picture of his army he's been working on for years. I really like how it's turned out over time. He's taken it to tournaments before, and here's a picture of his list. He didn't send it to me on Discord, and I won't lie, I'm being lazy. I didn't feel like retyping it, so there's his list. Meanwhile, here's my list. Feel free to pause either slide so you can look to see what we have. In terms of magic, as you can see, I have a Master Div and an Adeptive Druidism. And those were my spells that I took. And then the Breath of Lady, obviously that's not the right card, but it's a bound spell. And then here's his magic. And I'm going, damn, that's a lot of magic. Damn. So here's his deployment. He dropped for first. This is my deployment. Now, that little centerpiece there, I thought it was a ruin, so I Vanguard on top of it. I didn't realize it was an impassable, and neither did he until like halfway through the second turn. He goes, "Oh, Mark, that's impassable." I'm like, oops. Would have changed my deployment completely. So, with that said, oh, and secondary objective, we're playing secure target. So, that's after my Vanguards. It's his first turn. He's really not edging up because I've got because of my threat range is so large, and I've got honor on one of my lords, so he's actually got a 22-inch threat range. So he just edged up like that, and he grew, what was that, 15 new zombies, and he got a Breath of Corruption on his Wraith unit champion. So now it's my turn. I didn't care about Breath of Corruption. This is how I started. Here's how I finished my deployment. Now, I did go ahead and I put the pegs on the one side. I did that because my attitude is if he took his Dark Coach and went after my pegs, it's a win for me. Because it's now putting his Dark Coach well out of position, and I don't care. I repositioned my feudal knights because they had the flame banner, and Sparky over there is going to care about the flame banner. I got my yeoman up and out of the way. I moved up my ladies courtier as such. I'm just going to go back a slide. As such, because I took Master of Earth, and Wraiths are an issue for me. I mean, they're AP 10. Yeah, I'll have a 5 up, maybe a 4 up Aegis, but they auto hit. And it's not as mean as some of the other lists that I've seen, but it's pretty mean. And he's got double movement spells. I want nothing to do with that list or with that unit. So let's go forward. So I turn around. He has a binding scroll, but he doesn't do his binding this turn. He's like, you know what? I don't think you're going to do that much damage to me, and I'll just be able to regrow. So I get Stars Align. I actually do, I think, 5 or 6 wounds. I did 5 wounds. With that, which left his unit champion, which is all he needs, left with 1 wound. Crossbows. Finish the job for all those people who harass me about my crossbows. Look, they get the plucky wound. That's all I need them to do. So now it's VC turn 2. So he's lost that entire unit of Wraiths. And I gave him a 10-inch charge on both his 2 big bricks onto the Lady Courtier. I was okay with that. She's got a 4-up Aegis. She's hitting on 2s within range of an Orson, and I can could have pumped her up to be able to hit on 3s even with parry. She'd have a stomp, and then a rerollable discipline, whatever it is, based off a 9. So even if she does crumble a little bit, I'm not overly concerned. And 10 on 2 dice from his units is not very likely. So he does a double charge. They both fail. Pardon me. He chaffs up my quests because the damsel's attached to them. And she took a wound on the DTs when I joined that unit because I marched. He did attempt that charge. It was like an 11, and he fails that. And at the end of his movement, this is how the board looks. He put Spectral Blades up, expecting me to charge his Dark Coach. I'm like, no. And he got nothing else up. So now it's my turn too. So I moved the pegs. To me, it looked like, nope, can't be seen by his Varkalak in the back, can't be seen by his Dark Coach. I moved the horse, my feudals up, and I moved them up in such a manner that his Dark Coach could not see them. So at this point, it's getting tough to go ahead and do all these chaffs and things like that. And let's see what else. I positioned the yeoman in a way, and we just turned. I'm like, look, I want to put these in a manner that you're in my flank. You can't get this unit in without doing other shenanigans, and and then that's it. One mistake that I did, and you'll see it coming up, is he does a brilliant. So I move my Knights of the Quest up, preparing them for that overrun and secondary charge. Yep, and that's about it. My crossbows are sitting pretty where they are. My Sweet and Fluffy, which is my soon-to-be new Hippogriff, is just kind of keeping him at bay with everything else. I threw my Lady's Courtier up, and this kind of was an error on my part, but I still didn't. I'm not sure it's an error or not because it forces him. He's got his Master Necro in that unit behind Skelly's, and I want that Necro. Would have been better with my BSB to go in up there, yes, but I didn't want to send my BSB on a possible suicide mission. And I didn't want to send my Sweet and Fluffy Lord because, of all things, that one model up there has 5 wounds, being Lady's Courtier, and I'm okay with it. So it's either going to soak up a lot of damage or anything else. Still keeping the feudals back at this point too because of that Terrorgeist. I get off Breath of Lady. I get up another 2 tokens. So now I'm sitting at 4 tokens. The way my list is I start the game with 2. I haven't used any yet. So now it's Vampire's turn 3. Here's what he did, which was bloody brilliant, is he does do a charge, and he takes out my chaff. He sets it up so as of right now, I don't have a charge really with the quest, and he chanced me up with the dogs, and I didn't expect it. So I have to give him kudos for that. And he's doing his best to make sure he angles it in a manner that I won't be able to get in. Um, the other thing that he did, which again, I didn't even bother checking it because I'm like, he doesn't have line of sight. And that falls on me for not checking it. He gets his Varkalak in at the top of the screen and is able to declare that charge and makes that charge. Yeah, so that's that. During his magic phase and shooting phase, magic he does nothing to me, but shooting, he turns around, he gets off, I think, 6 wounds, which was not like he just wounded with everything, which is not outside the realm of possibilities, but on average, he's doing out of 6, he's doing 4 wounds on average. And then on average, I'm saving another 1 to 2 wounds, so I'm expecting to be sitting there with 2 to 3 wounds. And his magic did nothing. I used my scroll for whispers because I wanted to be leadership 9. And no, he just lit him up, and I failed all my saves. So job well done. Removes my lady's courtier. And his Varkalak went ahead and was able to. He had charge, rear, and did 2 wounds to no wounds plus fear. So I failed my discipline test, which was I think Snake Eyes at that point, and he pursued me and caught me. So now it's KoE, and I'm going. You know what? I one thing I've noticed with myself is I'm not playing as aggressive with the new lab as I used to, or at least since we went ahead and changed the tabard, and I don't know why. It's something with me. I'm just not doing it. I'm doing getting a little too fancy. So I'm like, you know what? I know that charge, and I charge the dogs, charge the zombies, and I charge his Brickaskellies. So I charge the dogs with the quest, and as you can see, he positioned it so that I needed like an 8 or something to get into that to him in the flank. However, because I'm touching the front, or I'm in his front arc, as long as I reach him on my overrun, it's going to count as a charge, and I charge his front. So I'm like, all right, I can live with this. For my lures, I put my general on the right-hand side. I put my BSB kind of there in the middle, which I'm absolutely okay with. I really didn't want his dragon going in. I didn't want his Terrorgeist going in. So I figured my Lord will always be strength 6 AP3 with a 4-up Aegis. I can live with that. And that's that. So I kill the dogs. I actually roll boxcars for my overrun. So moving forward, I hit the flank, but as I said, counts as a front charge. The quests get in. So my Sweet and Fluffy, aka my general, goes ahead and does. He has 6 attacks. I have Stars Align up, and the reason he let Stars Align go because he was stopping my magic missiles at this point, going after his Terrorgeist, because at this point that's to me is his big threat that I need to be concerned with. I'm no longer concerned with the Dark Coach, and the Varkalak's just out of position. I'm not concerned with the Dark Coach anymore because now I'm fighting the zombies. Yeah, he can go charging in, kill a bunch of my knights. I lost my regrowth, but I'm going to be getting combat res. And I still have my ores and tokens. I'll have my magic. And something tells me I want to blow through the Skellies prior, and then I'll be able to get the quest in over there and pop them with combat res. So, let's see here. So, my Lord goes in. His dark, whatever that is, it's not Dark Coach, it's the Core of the Damned, goes ahead and it lowers all my agility. So I'm striking at agility 7, so it goes to agility 5, so striking at the same time. He manages to put a wound on my BSB, and I did +1 to hit. Forgot about the +1 to hit when I actually rolled it, but I did a +1 to hit with both my Hippo um, and my Knights of the Quest. And let's see here. So after crumbles and everything else, he's down to like 12 wounds. So I do a quick little reform, and now he's like, I am not sending my models into that mess right now, because if I do that, I mean that's just an accident waiting to happen. During his phase, his combat, it goes down even lower. So now it's EC turn 4. He charges my archers with his dogs. I flee. He actually fails to catch him anyway. Uh, but I still flee. I finish off his zombies or his skellies during his turn. So now this is my turn. Um, and that's that. His magic is he puts boosted spectral blades up. I did try to stop it, but I failed. Um, doesn't really help him that much. He does a couple wounds to me, and that's it. So now it's going to be KoE turn 4. Again, trying to do my best just to hold that line, because after losing his core units, he's just like, I just need to stay away from you. I go ahead and I do unerring strike on that thing, putting on 5 wounds. I did another 5 wounds to it, which was one above average. So I rolled an 8. And he actually rolls 3 6s. So it's only 2 wounds, but still, it's really starting to hurt that. I had the Knights of the Quest turn the other way. They took out the dog, so I'm not worried about that. I now have the objective. Oh, there's that marker showing 2 wounds. And I threw the BSB into the flank of his zombies. And after all was said and done, his turn 5, he does not send his black coach in, because he doesn't well, no, his his turn 5, um he's like, look, you have the game. We threw his black coach in and we just diced it out, skipping the rest of the board, and it turned into a huge pillow fight between my BSB and his dark coach. Neither one of us do a wound to each other. So at that point, he's like, yeah, so now I'm going to get flanked by all those banners, and no thank you. And we just called it. So that was the end of the game. Knowing that I had the objective, I'm going to end up just being able to go ahead and break them and everything else. So that was that. So it was a victory to King of Equitane. And I'm going to go back to the one key point for me in regards to all this. Was really, it was right here. And to quote a good friend of mine named Mike, uh, is I didn't get a case of the fuckets, but I'm like, you know what? I need to be more aggressive. I need to play a line from the books, from the original War Machine books, is I need to play like I got a pair. So the issue for KoE, which is kind of my fear, is VC, they don't go anywhere. The big brick with parry is massive, which is counter to KoE, and allows you to set up counter charges and things like that. But I felt okay knowing, like, he didn't have any of the running banners or things like that. He had a Legion banner instead, so I felt okay with it. And even if he had gone ahead and started raising, I mean, he wasn't able to. Those was able to stop his spells and stuff. But even if he had started raising stuff to try to move things into position, I don't think it would have helped that much. Um, so overall, I was really, really happy with playing a little bit more aggressive and still playing smart. Mike or not Mike, James Smith, my opponent, he got me with that Varkalak. I should have checked it. That was the one thing I'm like, got me. Nicely done. And everything else went pretty much according to plan. So that's it. Thank you for watching, and until next time, happy gaming.